truly, it's all about the money right here on Business News on NewDay. My name is Martin Esiedudati. Let's go straight into the details of our stories now. The Ghana National Association of Poultry Farmers has raised doubts about government's policy of reducing poultry import by 40%. According to the Vice Chairman of the association, Napoleon Oduro, Ghana imports about 95% of her poultry needs, representing an excess of 200,000 metric tons a year, of which a 40% reduction should have created a shortage.
The Vice Chairman of the Ghana National Association of Poultry Farmers, Napoleon Oduro, however, stated the shortage will have provided the market an incentive for increased local production. He indicated the government's policy of reducing importation of poultry by 40% has been associated with challenges on both production and policymaking. The policy requires importers of poultry to have 40% local content. This, he explained, was due to lack of legislation and operational regulations for implementation.
If this 40% policy works well, it will benefit many other stakeholders, such as the Feed Millers Association, such as the Hatchery Association, and even the importer. Even the government himself will be benefiting from these policies. So we have come together today just so we can all put our minds together and see what exactly is required of government to make this policy work.
He indicated government policies have made the local poultry industry non-competitive. According to Napoleon Oduro, the policy did not address processing, feed milling, and other components in the value chain.
This is not a first initiative, policy initiative by the government. Without a guiding document, a document that will protect the investor. For instance, there is inadequate processing facility in a country, which requires a lot of investment. But who would feel guaranteed to send money in there without a document indicating that these are the ABC steps to guide the poultry improvement strategy?
The association urged government to be transparent in implementing the 40% import reduction policy.
In other business news this morning, the Ministry of Trade and Industry says it will present a policy document on promoting local products to Cabinet before the close of this month. This forms part of efforts to get executive backing to make it compulsory and mandatory for government agencies to procure locally manufactured products.
President Mahama in December 2014 inaugurated an 18-member steering committee tasked to implement public awareness programs to project Made in Ghana goods. The committee was also mandated to reverse the high importation of goods which Ghana has a comparative advantage in to promote local industries. 15 months after the inauguration of the committee, the Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Ekospio Gabra, says Ghanaian businesses stand to gain after the approval of their proposals to Cabinet.
We want the Cabinet of the Republic of Ghana to examine a document which is being sent to Cabinet this very month. And we've taken a look at about 20 different product items and are making specific recommendations about how, especially state-owned agencies, public institutions, ministries, departments, and agencies, which constitute the bulk of government expenditure, can consciously procure their goods and services from Ghana or from Ghanaians.
At a forum with members of the Institute of Financial and Economic Journalists, the committee called for the amalgamation of the Ghana Supply Company and the Ghana National Procurement Agency into one body to complement efforts in promoting Made in Ghana goods.
I expect that by the end of this month we'll be able to again send that document to Cabinet proposing the merger between the Ghana National Procurement Authority and Ghana Supply Commission to create a new procurement services company, which will be part of the process by which government agencies and even private sector companies can procure Made in Ghana products.
And in other business news this morning, Chairman of the Ghana National Biodiversity Committee, Professor Alfred Otinyeboa, says bold measures are required to preserve what remains of Ghana's forest cover for future generations. He was speaking at a close-out workshop on promoting local lumbering in Ghana.
Illegal logging has been one of the causes of deforestation in Ghana. To curb this menace, Ghana in 2008 entered into a voluntary partnership agreement with the European Union to tackle it and its associated trade. The program, also through Tropenbus International and its partners, addressed the problem of illegal lumber supply to the domestic market. The close-out workshop was attended by over 60 participants from over 40 stakeholder groups in Ghana's forestry sector and Guyana.
We have taken too many things for granted. Now, if we realize that the forests that we see, which are the natural forests, were bequeathed to us by our forebears, it is our responsibility to make sure that these forests, which are now existing, we take care of them. And as we take care of them, we also make sure that to expand the forest belt to cover areas that have already been degraded. It's an effort by all stakeholders.
The workshop was to highlight achievements and projections in Ghana's forestry sector.
A greater part of the timber that we get from the mills are exported out of the country. So if we are able to support more of the artisanal milling, then it will mean putting more of our timber on the domestic market.
All right, so that'll be it for Business on New Day. My name is Martin Asiedu Date.